In this demonstration, we're going to illustrate how enterprises can lift, shift, and go on Microsoft Azure, enabling true hybrid cloud workflows. To start, we're going to first show our 4-node Elastifile deployment within the Azure environment. Next, we're going to navigate within the Azure UI and look at the details of the VM configuration for each of our 4 nodes. We'll also take a look at the storage. You can see that 5 SSDs are attached to each VM. Next, we're going to navigate to the Elastifile Management Console and take a look at some performance information. Here you can see the performance of our 4-node cluster when handling a 4K workload with 80% reads and 20% writes. And here you can see that the workload is being run against the perfFS data container. In the Elastifile GUI, you can also monitor information about the attached hosts, as well as information about the attached storage. And here you can see that there are 20 SSDs, which corresponds to the 5 SSDs for each of our 4 nodes. And finally, for additional performance information, you can do performance drill downs, enabling you to monitor performance over varying time periods. Next, let's create a Cloud Connect connection between Microsoft Azure and an on-premises Elastifile cluster. Here, as you can see, we're specifying the information to correspond to this connection. And we're going to specify this as a check-in connection where data will go directly into the bucket Azure Demo 131117. And here, as we navigate back into the Azure GUI, you can see that our bucket already exists and contains some pre-existing blobs. Next, we'll check some data into our bucket with the description v1, representing version 1. Then we'll perform a second check-in from the same directory, this time labeled as v2 for version 2. Now you can see both versions are available within our bucket. And now we're going to create a Cloud Connect connection between our Azure bucket and our in-cloud Elastifile cluster. This time we'll specify it as a checkout connection, where data will go from the bucket and be placed into our in-cloud file system. First, we'll see that our in-cloud file system is currently empty. And then we're going to navigate back to the Cloud Connect UI and select the data from our v2 check-in. And we're going to check that data out into our in-cloud file system. And with the checkout completed, we again check the contents of our in-cloud file system. And we now see that the file system contains the performance benchmarking directory and the files for an OpenSSL compilation benchmark. And next, we're going to use those files to run an OpenSSL compilation job. And you can see that the job is kicked off. Now, while our job is running, let's return to the Elastifile Management UI and monitor performance. We can now see that both the original data container and the data container corresponding to our in-cloud file system are both handling I/O. And finally, we see that the compilation job completed successfully in cloud, which concludes our demonstration. Thank you.